Pete Holmes and Artie Lange are both respected and beloved stand-up comedians who appear on the HBO show Crashing. Created by Holmes and co-produced and often directed by Judd Apatow, Crashing is a semi-autobiographical sitcom about an aspiring comedian named Pete who is so obsessed with making it as a stand-up, he neglects his put-upon wife who cheats on him, leaving him homeless, pitiful, and at the mercy of more established comedians like T.J. Miller, Sarah Silverman, and Artie Lange. Here's what the trailer to the show sounds like.
My wife slept with somebody else today. I caught her today.
Oh my God, Peter.
Sweetest.
I thought you were going to be writing jokes at the library.
What are you doing? What? Who is this?
Oh boy.
Yeah, oh boy.
Go write some jokes.
I've literally never done anything without her. I have a plan. I'll be a comedian.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Take these flyers, and if you get 5 paying customers, we'll put you on stage.
Got a great live comedy show? I've been working on this corner. Walk away. God! Somebody trying to shake me from my corner.
Ah! What are you talking like you in The Wire?
I haven't seen The Wire.
What?
There's no good way to tell people you haven't seen The Wire. I'm going through a divorce. I'm kind of floating around. You can crash in my place.
There's laundry downstairs. You're going to want to do that right away.
Don't sleep on that pillow. Don't put your face in this pillow. Bad stuff happens in this pillow.
Hey, good morning, little fella. Get on up here.
Get over here, man.
You want me to come on your podcast? I did everything I was supposed to. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't have sex.
Oh my God, I missed rye humping.
Me too. I missed the 3rd grade.
I want to experience new things. You were blocked. I was trying to free you.
Let's do it!
I'm doing okay, actually.
Look at us, standing on the corner, eating street food. We're going to do a set tonight at a club in Manhattan. Following the dream. We're grinding it out. I'm happy to be with you guys.
What's wrong with you?
The cast and crew are currently shooting the 2nd season of Crashing, and the 1st season is now available on Blu-ray and DVD for your home viewing pleasure. I recently had the chance to travel to Brooklyn, New York for an event to promote Crashing while also benefiting Real Girl, a program that aims to, quote, help end gender inequality by fostering the ability of girls to discover their truest selves and develop the skills, knowledge, confidence, and courage they need to consistently make informed life choices from a place of self-knowledge, self-love, and strength, end quote. So, yeah, there was a night of stand-up at the Bell House in Brooklyn featuring amazing sets by Pete Holmes, Artie Lange, Dov Davidoff, and Beth Stelling. Earlier that day, I caught up with Pete and Artie for a chat about Crashing. They were on like a press junket, so I was told I'd only have like 9 minutes with them. But I think because, I flew down from Canada and I looked pathetic, and also because we had a nice rapport, Pete bought me a bit more time. It probably helped that Pete and Artie seemed to like my long salt and pepper hair. At least Artie liked it. Pete found it suspicious, I think. You'll see. I'm a big fan of Pete and Artie's work, both alone and together, so this was actually just super fun. Sponsored by Pizza Trocadero, The Bookshelf, Planet Bean Coffee, and Granddad's Donuts, this is Pete Holmes and Artie Lange on the 342nd episode of Creative Control with your host, me, Vish Khanna.
Mirrors in the morning are becoming a beast, making those ends keeps you moving at least. I hope you make it alright. I hope you make it alright. Make your mind up, get right up and march to the mouth of the meaningless lineup. I hope you make it alright. I hope you make it alright. You can sell dust and steal in the daylight. For all that I care, just as long as you're sleeping at night.
Pete,
I've done literally nothing to this hair. It's just a funny thing you had to say.
I haven't trimmed it. It's just doing its own thing, It's fine.
It looks colored.
It's
not colored?
I don't think that's the word you're supposed to use now. Yeah, it looks African American. No, it's just, I'm 40. I'm going to be 40 in December, and I have colored hair. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Pete, thank you so much for being on the show. Congratulations
my
on Crashing.
Thank you very kindly.
Yeah.
Look, I'm on a couch.
Who is beside you?
This is Valerie, my fiance. Say something.
Fiance.
That is not the correct French pronunciation. I come from Canada. There's
Fiance.
an fiance.
Fiance.
Yeah. Oh, nice to have you. And do you work on the show as well, Valerie?
I don't. I'm just hanging out.
Val works for Real Girl, the charity that we're
right.
doing this benefit for tonight.
Right.
So,
Yep.
Nice.
Deal with
Great.
that. Female empowerment for girls ages 9 to 18.
Yes, we'll get into Real Girl in a moment. But
That's all I want to say about it.
That's it. They've had enough.
You don't have that much time.
You've done your job. No, it's true. We don't.
I like that you think you have enough time to loop back to Real Girl. You've gotten all you're going to get out of Artie. I mean, they're about to get you.
It's true. Artie, how are you?
This is the first time hearing of Real Girl. I'm kidding. I'm doing great.
It's nice to meet all of you. Now, we don't have a lot of time. This is the farthest I've traveled for the shortest amount of time to talk to anyone.
That's
so
incredible.
I'm very excited. Crashing is done. Season 1 is done.
Yes, season 1 is in the can, as they say.
My understanding is that this is a personal story for you.
It is a personal story.
What did you learn about yourself?
Although Artie Lange... Oh, good question. Artie Lange is the amalgamation of 5 people. I didn't know Artie in real life, but Artie plays... I'm a very naive character based on myself I would say when I was about 28. And then I meet Artie, and I'm a guy who wants to get into comedy. And Artie's a guy who's obviously in comedy, and he kind of warns me like the ghost of Christmas future.
Yeah.
But then we kind of rub off on each other.
I knew Pete for about 4 seconds when I knew I would like him, that I would like working with him, because if I wasn't a comedian, I would probably be running some sort of con on him.
He keeps calling me Mark. Mark. I don't understand.
It's great to see somebody, first of all, having this kind of break in show business, who's not. And I always meant to tell Pete this. He's not squandering it. He's really like it's one thing for Judd Apatow to pick you to do something, but I know so many comics who would not do the work that you have to do, and might not have the talent either to do it. But I mean, Pete really is not mailing this in. It's great to see. It's great for other comics to see too that he's not taking this for granted, and he's really kicking ass with it. It's fun to be next to that. So it's weird that I need more of that work ethic, and hopefully that'll rub off on me. And and liking him personally helps in the performing, because for me, comedy and stuff like this has to be done with something.
Well, that goes both ways.
Yeah.
Whenever Artie and I just did a scene for the second season where we were sitting across from each other again, and I was like, this is what I've been missing. This is because we shot Artie stuff in a block, multiple episodes over a couple weeks together, and it was just so fun to be back.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
You can't fake that. Like, I really am reverent of Artie, and very. I think he's hilarious and amazing. And Artie, I'm
absolutely
likes me as a person.
Did you first meet Artie as a result of this production?
I met him at the audition.
Yep.
Somehow, I would hear tell of Artie, like the Tasmanian Devil, like a tornado had gone through a Del Taco, and I'd see wrappers and chicken blood on the floor, and I knew he had been there, but I never met him.
I should clean up that blood.
Kind of seance? What was going on?
I don't know. He
blood.
likes fresh chicken. The man likes fresh.
Backstage at comedy shows used to be a lot different than they are now. There's like an elliptical machine now. You open up for Wayne Brady, there's all exercise equipment.
But the truth is, I would always be at a club. I would be on early, and Artie likes getting in around 10, which I consider late.
It's perfect.
And so we were always in the same circles, but we didn't meet. And then I love telling the story that he came into the audition. And you still do this. You'll take the staple out of your script. So he has it loose leaf. So he looks like a frantic secretary in the 50s.
I have to disorganize something. If something's too organized.
He looks like a hysterical secretary. And he's shuffling and he's looking for the words. And he wasn't even auditioning. The audition was vague. It wasn't like, this is for the part. This is the guest of the first episode. It was just kind of like, let's see how it feels. And Artie, we were just like, let's forget it. Just put it aside and let's play around. And he had everyone dying. No one could touch him. And Judd and I just looked at each other and we were like, well, I mean, when it falls in your lap, get a lap dance. That's what we say here.
Actually,
at
ends up
HBO's
happening
Crashing.
on the show.
It does, and he takes me to a legs and eggs.
I know
Circle.
a lot better ones. like that pizzeria scene is so amazing because it. I really did feel like I was telling another comedian my life, and the facial expressions I always say that Pete makes in that are so fucking funny. There's a couple of times where he's literally like looking at me like wow, this is a person like this exists in the forest, and it just worked from there on.
And that's kind of one of the themes of the show is a sheltered guy, a sweet guy that hopefully you're rooting for, meeting all sorts of people that he never knew existed. You know, kind of like Star Wars or other things, Lord of the Rings. Like, it's like a wacky adventure. I know it's just comedy in New York, but it really is this guy going like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it's available now on Blu-ray and digital download with special features.
Back to my question, because I'm
Yes.
going to circle back.
Yes.
What did you
I
learn?
remember your question.
Do you remember the question?
Yes.
You said it was a good question. You acknowledged it was a fantastic question.
But it's so good. Please say it again.
Well, I'm curious because you go through this personal
that
exploration.
sounded like I was being an asshole. I really meant
No, I think you were
Okay,
sincere.
good. I'm
Yeah.
sincere.
Did you learn stuff about yourself through the process of having this fake version of you out in the world?
Great question. I think I learned...
Thank you very much.
I mean it. I think I learned more about my old self than I did necessarily who I am now. Is that, like, I look back at that kid who started comedy in real life when I was about 22, and we're kind of nudging him up in time. But there was such a naivety and a fearlessness and just like it's going to work out. And I had this, I wouldn't quite call it grit, but there was this sort of like, I'll go to the clubs and I'll do badly. And that's all part of it, baby. So I'm kind of like proud. I know this is kind of, I don't want it to sound arrogant, but I'm proud of 22-year-old Pete who went, and I know how scared he was. And when Artie and I went up to Albany, which was actually in Long Island, but like when we pretended to be on the road, I actually would feel it in my stomach how scared I am still. I know that might be hard to believe.
Yeah.
And how I was that times 1,000 when I was there getting paid in some weird bare office with that same metal desk and some sexually provocative framed photo from the 50s, and like a guy paying me in filthy 20s, two of them, and driving home and feeling like I had carved a little home for myself in show business. And I like that guy. I'm proud of that part of myself, and I hope I still have it. I think I do.
You should be proud that, I think we all go through. You're proud of yourself for going back, that you had the guts to keep going into this business and having the balls to follow a dream. It's hard, because a lot of people in your life don't think they're judging you for it, but they are, even subconsciously, and you got to deal with that. Some people are blatant about it. And, you should be proud of yourself just for keeping on. I didn't have to do much. I grew up 8 miles from New York City, and I just, came in to the city in a car.
He's the Eminem of comedy.
Yeah, right. Only my mother's hotter than Kim Basinger.
Really? Wow. Is your mother coming to the show tonight?
Calm down. No, not anymore. But, it's just, even though I was that close to the city, the town I grew up in North Jersey is 8 miles from this progressive, unbelievable New York City, and the most closed-minded people on the planet. About gays, racial stuff, and I'm proud that I became more enlightened than my friends by going into show business. There's this great city right there. You can see it, And,
Can we give Vish an extra couple minutes? Because he came from Canada.
I know, he did.
Is that okay? Let's just give him an extra 5.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you. Don't say I never did anything for you, Vish.
Thank you, Pete.
No, but that's so you're just proud of yourself for just trying this out. And you do meet a lot of interesting people and that are more enlightened than you in the world.
But that's what's so funny is when you see Pete and Artie, you think, well, Pete clearly is from some suburb and went to some cushy, comfortable college with a roommate named Chuck. And then you meet Artie and you're like, well, this guy might be helpful to change a fan belt. And then you realize that he actually has all this wisdom. It's just hidden, not even hidden to schmucks like me in a Jersey accent and a backwards Yankee cap.
Well, you learn it could come from anybody. Like,
That's right, exactly it.
And I publicly, I say this, so it's all right to break the anonymity, but I go to AA. And the great thing about AA, when I'm behaving myself is somebody like a janitor at a diner could say the most fascinating thing about life that just changes you.
Right.
So it's when you learn to accept that, that's when you can be funnier too.
That's right.
You've all touched upon faith in interesting ways there, because I think the show is about faith in a lot of interesting ways. There's spiritual, religious faith comes up.
Yep.
There's the faith in yourself. There's the faith in your abilities and vocational faith, but it's all kind of crumbling on your show.
Yeah, sure.
Like faith is there and they're all dovetailing, but I also feel like...
Well, I would say that's what, this is going to sound cliche, but that's what faith is. I think the forgetting and the remembering is what gives something like faith energy. It's what gives it the back and forth. It's what gives it the electricity.
I see.
So somebody forget a lot, try to.
So somebody falling apart is actually part of the whole of the thing being together. Like Pete has faith in himself and he has faith in his comedy career. He also has faith in marriage. That now I can even talk about my real self. I got married and I went into comedy the same week, basically. And I thought both were my lifelong partners, and one ended up not working out. But like that, now the show is kind of trying to tell the story that the down times and the up times, we need both. We can't have winning without losing. There's no polarity to that, and there's no charge to that. So I think Pete losing little bits of his quote-unquote faith, meaning he gets a little less moral as we go on, traditionally externally holy. I think he's learning far more profound things that... And this is going to sound cliche, that it is about an inner transformation, not about whether or not you say fuck or smoke a cigarette or get a lap dance.
Definitely. And that's what that enlightened world did for me, too, because I grew up Roman Catholic, and, just forget it. That is really blown up. But, you go into the world thinking, like, what the hell? You answer those questions or try to, whereas most people who don't take a leap like this into a world like a creative world, they never even try to answer those questions. They just let that all build up, and they become, my Uncle Tony. And I'm trying not to do that. I love him, but I don't want to do it.
There's a lot of faith that goes into the world of comedy. Yours is a show it's a comedy show about comedy. Mm-hmm. Why does that interest you, this notion? I mean, we've been going through this boom, podcasts, lots of different TV shows talking about comedy,
right,
and representing what it's like to be a comedian to people who may not know this world. Why did this occur to you? Why is that of interest?
I think it's partially interesting what comedians literally go through in order to become stand-up comedians or whatever it might be. But I also think it's just an easy profession for everybody to pour themselves into, because everybody, whether you're an architect or a pastry chef or whatever it is, or just trying to be a good parent, you're trying to take what's inside of you and show it outside and have it be accepted and celebrated. I think that's one of the reasons why there's so many shows about creative pursuits, is because everybody's creative and everybody's trying to do that work of figuring out who they are and stuff. Comedians get to do it too while being funny. Yeah. So that's just kind of a gimmick. Not even a gimmick. It's like when I'm getting a divorce, I can make jokes. And that's why it's fun to have a show follow a comedian. Although, you have a show like Fargo that follows like a insurance salesman, and he can be funny in his own way. I like the way we're funny too.
And is there an element of lonerism in comedy that you're trying to put forth? Because
I'm trying to dispel that a little bit. Okay. Is because not really. Yes.
What?
What I'm saying is, yes, there is lonerism, and I like that word. But also, people sometimes don't believe that there are Arties out there. But in my experience, there have been 15 Arties, and Artie has.
You mean
Arties.
A guru, like
gurus and people that help and people that offer. I've never seen a group of comedians light up more than if we're all sitting around and someone who's respectful and doesn't seem like a dick asks for a little bit of advice, like with humility and a certain glint in their eye, people love to go because we're a breed. We're a species. And we go, look, this guy thinks he's in our bloodline. Let's tell him what it is. And either we'll scare them away or they'll have a beautiful bar mitzvah.
Hey, no, you really want to know that you helped somebody. It's a good feeling to know that, you took that advice.
There's nothing better.
Right.
And Bill Burr, who's on the season, is one of those people who in real life, when I was starting out, I wrote him an email cold, and he was just like, "Here's the advice," and I followed the advice, and then he got to come on our show.
The more talented guys, I think, are willing to do that. You'll find that they're good people off stage too.
That's right.
That usually works. And loanerism, I thought you meant loaning people money.
Loan sharkerism.
There's a lot of that, with a big vig.
We unfortunately have to wrap up. But did you want to say anything about the cause tonight?
You did loop it back to Real Girl.
This is what I do.
So nice.
This is what I do.
Oh, wow, what a pro. So the show tonight is benefiting Real Girls Guatemala program. So we do
Guatemala. Is that offensive?
That seemed inappropriate given the context. Yes, I'm going to go with yes. I bet you did, Artie.
Yeah.
If I went Paris, no one would have a problem.
Yes, they would. Little Arnold. Never mind. Let's get to the thing. I just want to know what it is and how people can help.
So we do empowerment programs for girls between ages 8 and 16, and this is specifically our program in Guatemala, which is one of the most dangerous places in the world for women, and we teach them everything they need to be self-sufficient, and we employ local women, and it's a great program, and you can look it up at realgirlempowerment.com.
Amazing.
Lovely.
Thank you.
I can't believe you circled back.
I circle. I am a circler.
Yes.
Is V short for something?
Vishal. It means, well, my parents told me it meant great or big when I was growing up, but I Googled it recently. Spacious.
Spacious.
I am spacious.
You are spacious. I feel that. That's a fine compliment, too. I love it. I feel it. Thank you for being spacious.
I liked being spacious with you. Thank you so much. Good luck with season 2 and best of luck with everything.
Thank you.
Your hair for the show.
I'll go back to my hotel and fix it up for you. Sorry, Artie.
Do your hair for the show.
That was Pete Holmes, Artie Lange, and Pete's fiance. And I like saying that, I have to admit, fiance Valerie. Thank you to Pete, Valerie, and Artie for being on the show, and also HBO Canada. That was a real thrill for me to get to go down to Brooklyn for a short time and hang out with these people and experience the things that I experienced. Really fun. And by the way, once again, Crashing, Season 1 available on Blu-ray and DVD courtesy of HBO. And as I say, it's exciting. They're making Season 2 right now, so I don't know when that'll be out. They probably don't know when that'll be out. When it's done, I guess, when it's ready to go. So look out for Season 2 of Crashing coming relatively soon. This is the 342nd episode of Creative Control, which is a podcast available on iTunes, Audio Boom, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Overcast, and all of the podcast platforms, really. And every single episode of this program is available on my website, vishkhanna.com, and you can learn more about me on that site as well. Also, Creative Control of Vish Khanna is on Facebook. Please like our page. Follow us on Twitter at Vish Creative. Follow me on Twitter at Vish Khanna. Also, a version of this show airs every Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Around the world at cfru.ca, or if you're in the Kitchener-Waterloo region, 93.3 FM in Guelph. CFRU 93.3 FM is a beautiful campus and community radio station. It's fun to be a part of them. So again, cfru.ca for more information about them. Also visit patreon.com/Creative Control to make a flexible monthly donation to the program and keep the podcast going. I've been saying this for a little while now. I'm aiming to purchase a new portable recording machine when I go out in the field here, and so we don't have to share as many mics. Everyone can have their own mic, and I have my eye on one, and I could use your support. So please consider making a pledge to patreon.com/Creative Control, and you will make someone's dreams come true. I guess I don't really dream about this. Am I underselling now? I probably am. Man, please pledge. This episode would not be possible without our sponsors, Pizza Trocadero, whom you can call for pickup or delivery at 519-829-2444. Check them out at trocaderoguelph.ca. Amazing pizza. The Bookshelf, an independently owned bookstore, bar, music venue, and movie theater located at 41 Quebec Street in Guelph. Learn more about them at bookshelf.ca. And Planet Bean, freshly roasted, fair trade certified organic coffee. For more information, visit planetbeancoffee.com. Actually, there's one more. I just started working with Granddad's Donuts, located at 574 James Street North in Hamilton, Ontario. Can't forget Granddad's. Excellent, amazing, old-fashioned donuts. I love them. Visit granddads.ca for more info. All right, that's the show. Thank you, Pete, Artie, Valerie, HBO, you for listening. Again, please support the show by listening to it and downloading it and telling your friends all about it and rate it and review it positively on all the podcast platforms. It all helps, apparently. That's what I'm told. So please do it. Thank you. Or don't, just listen. Whatever you got to do with your life is fine by me, for the most part. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Goodbye for now.